welcome to the Trinity Force Podcast. Yo, it's that Triforce cast beaming straight to your home. Grab a beer so we know Pone ain't drinking alone. Send an email, a quick tweet, just pick up the phone. Leave a message, hit the beep if you're a creep, watch your tone. Discuss the meta game, patch notes, whatever helps your stats most. Obi-Pone Kenobi is your last hope to snatch gold. So grab your headphones and join in the fun. We'll try and force in some jokes and some cringeworthy puns. Yo, we can make it together, people. Trinity Force Podcast. These boys are second to none. Now that's the end of the intro. It's time we begun.
Hey guys, welcome to Trinity Force Podcast. My name is Adam Ponophobia Cogswell, and I'm your host for this awesome evening, day, afternoon, morning, whatever time of whatever, wherever you are on this planet Earth that you are listening to this podcast. We are happy to have you here and listening. I'm joined by Chira, Punch, and Dom this week. Everybody in unison, hello!
Hey!
What are we, 390 deep, and you still managed to keep that intro fresh?
Every single time, baby. I could.
Mostly fresh.
Sean yelled at me about it a long time ago and told me to keep it somewhat different, and I'm like, well, it's kind of hard to because we do the whole fucking intro music and everything. But I'm doing my best.
Get better. That's all I got. That's all I have to tell you.
Better.
Just get better.
Stop sucking.
Yeah, you piece of shit.
That's what I tell everybody that listens to this podcast. Get better. Hey, speaking of getting better, you don't have much time left to get better. November 7th at midnight, 12:01 a.m. So technically 12:01 a.m. on the 8th. Ranked season ends. It's completely done for 2016. So if you have not made it to where you need to make it, you have 1 month to get there. Have fun with all the trolls and everybody else that's coming out of the woodwork at the end of this time to get into their last minute push. And you know what that means for me? I have to play 2 more games between now and then because Riot couldn't have made it like the 5th. They had to make it the 7th.
And just to note, they're not going to like straight up turn off ranked Q if history is any indicator. The ranked queue will still be on. It's just not going to matter as far as your rewards go.
It's just not important.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter anymore.
They take a snapshot.
If you think the trolls are coming out now, just wait until the after.
They take a snapshot of that server the moment it hits 12:01, and they're like, fuck you. So if you were in the middle of a game and you hadn't finished it before that time, just don't play that late. Get it in now. Because you're
12:01 Pacific, right? So technically
3:01 a.m.
For me 2:01.
Right.
That's late, man. I'm a grown ass man. I don't stay up that late anymore.
I have a job and I have family.
Yeah, I got work to do.
Can't stay up that late anymore. Not possible physically.
About 1 o'clock. I'm done. I think I fell asleep at 11:30 last Friday. To give you any indication of how much my life has changed over the past 4 or 5 years that you listen to the podcast.
Yeah, I remember a time where 4 a.m. that was nothing, but
it's hard now.
Got older.
Yeah. So another quick announcement is that next week, I'm not going to be on this podcast at all for an entire week, and these guys are going to bring
Mother of God.
Hopefully 2 episodes to you next week, if not at least 1.
Somehow we'll find a way.
We'll go for 2 low quality episodes here. We don't have our Diamond 5 carry sort of keeping us afloat.
Mm-hmm.
And if you haven't already, go to YouTube and go watch the game. We played a scrim against Peter Christie and Punch on Monday. And the only reason I tell you to go watch it is because there's a bunch of hilarious... listening to our comms throughout the game is actually kind of funny because there's one point where Sean tells Dom to make him a big boy. And everyone starts laughing.
Make me a big boy.
That's all he says.
I did.
And he knew exactly what
I knew exactly what he wanted.
But yeah, we play those, and there's also the Riven off between Punch and myself, where we did a blind pick game, and Punch and I played Riven in the top lane together.
Yes, and I was severely disappointed. Oh man, when the loading screen hit and I saw you would teleport, I was so disappointed in you.
I had
Ignite because I was thinking like, oh man, you know what? I should probably take Exhaust and Ignite because I bet that's what Pone's gonna do. But no, no, he went for like this team play bullshit. What the hell was that?
That's how I made it to Diamond. I played for
Such
the team.
a letdown.
Sean and I spent a lot of that game just running around the map, terrified because you guys ran Blitzcrank, and with Mitch disconnected for so much of it, like he and I had things we had to get done, but at any point in time there was just the fear of a Blitzcrank hook.
That game was rough in general with Mitch. It was pretty even when it was a 4v5. I liked it. That was good.
It was a lot. It was just a lot of fun all around because it was just fun that you can listen to our comms is what it is, and we just try to have fun with the game. We try to have fun streaming against those guys because we want to bring you guys entertainment, right? And I've actually thought about taking that Riven game and cutting it up and doing one of those stupid videos of it because there's a point where Punch and I duel at level 1 in the top lane, and obviously Punch wins because he has Ignite, and I go in, and then as soon as the Ignite hits, I'm like, oh fuck, he has Ignite, I'm dead, and I die.
Yes. Happens every time I play against a Riven with Ignite. I take note of it during the loading screen, like, that guy's got Ignite, I'm going to die. And then I die.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've played with people who make that note, and then they're like, oh, I'm going to die to that Ignite at level, like at level 2, I'm going to die to that. And
they know it's coming, but then they forget it's coming.
No, because I'm like, oh, this is the perfect trade. I can do my auto attack cancels. I'm like, I got him. Oh, fuck, there's an Ignite.
Or like they take heal or something and you're not expecting that, so you go for a crazy dive that you think you're going to get a kill and get out of, and then they heal, and that screws up your plan. You don't know what to do, so you panic and just die to a turret or some shit.
Well, there was another all-in later where I jumped on you with Ignite, and I thought I activated my ult, but didn't.
Oh.
And you did, and it's like destroyed me. I was like, well, that's weird. What? Oh, my ultimate's still off cooldown.
Yeah.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, you came in and stunned me. I'm like, all right, all my cooldowns are up. Here's my ultimate. Go.
Oh, I guess I'll just kill you now.
That was a lot of fun. I like playing against an equally skilled Riven, if you want to call it that, because it's just like whoever. It's just whoever. Just whatever. Something happens. Like you can't explain it. It's just equally skilled. Anyway,
yes.
Let's talk about patch 6.20. Unless you got more to talk about, Punch. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off.
More to talk about? No, I forgot about the first game. It erased from my memory. I only remember the Riven game.
The Riven game was a lot of fun. We'll have to do at least some stupid stuff like that some more, where we're doing like Riven offs or like we can't obviously all pick the same champion unless there's a special game mode. But I think those are a lot of fun and those people are enjoying it.
We could do like draft for your opponent, draft their team comp.
I'm so down for that.
Yeah, I'm down.
Try and stumble me, friends. Just try it.
Try and stumble me. All right, let's talk about patch 6.20. If you don't already know, this patch isn't that big. And you shouldn't expect large patches up until preseason, really. Maybe one right before preseason happens, probably about 6.22, 6.23. It might be a big patch, and you go, what's with all these stupid changes? Why is everyone doing all this? It's because they're likely prepping for the preseason. And we are going to talk a little bit about the preseason tonight if we have time after we talk through the patch notes, which we should. So we will start. First and foremost, Ivern is out. I hope these guys next week should go into Ivern some more and talk about him. And I know Serial's really excited about playing him, and obviously he's not here. So we're going to leave Ivern for next Monday's podcast for you guys.
Just to maybe temper expectations, his computer has not liked playing League of Legends lately. On Monday it crashed 2 out of the 3 games that I played with him. So it's possible that as excited as he is about Ivern, he's just not going to get to play him because his computer won't let him.
There's got to be a fix for that. There's something out in the forums. All right, well, let's talk about Ashe, because Ashe has had some tweaks over the last couple of patches, and they are running some more tweaks back over her because she still is pretty powerful in the top 3, 80 carries, if you will, right now. So what they're doing to her is they're touching her passive Frost Shot, and they're also touching Ranger's Focus. And honestly, I think the Ranger's Focus one is something they probably should have touched a while ago, because they're making it so it's not an auto attack reset anymore. For those of you who didn't know, once you got all 3 stacks, you could auto attack reset to get extra damage. Yeah. It's
funny because like a year ago they touched Ranger's Focus, and I thought they made it worse, and now seeing where Ashe is, I'm like, oh my god, they need to nerf her more.
Well, we'll talk about Ranger's Focus first. Instead of fully resetting Ashe's basic attack, her basic attack delay will be reduced by to 40% of the full value. So if Ashe's delay between attacks is 1 second, casting Ranger's Focus will bring that delay down to 0.4 seconds. So it's like a half auto attack reset now.
Right. And it won't go lower than that either. It's not 40% of the time remaining. It's 40% of the total time between her attacks. So if you're already about to attack, then it's not going to reduce the duration anymore. Or delay anymore.
So you have to attack.
You know what I mean?
So you use it as like an auto attack reset to get your next auto attack to fire a little more quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, a slightly slower auto attack reset. I think they're just getting fancy with their balance changes now. Like, look what we can do.
I'm trying to I feel like they're is a considerable portion of the player base who won't ever even notice that change.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's big for the top
huge
2%, top 20%. I mean, like, it is big, it's huge, but there are a lot of players out there who are not even ever going to notice that.
Yeah, if you weren't using Ranger's Focus to auto attack reset any kind of team fight, you were losing it. I mean,
you were doing it wrong.
You were doing it wrong. Yeah, you had to use it as an auto attack reset. That was the whole point of it. But they're also reducing the flurry damage. It was 1.15 at rank 1. It's now 1.05, and it goes up to a total of 1.25. So it's a 0.10 overall nerf of flurry damage. So with each wave, which is what, 4 waves now? It was 5, now it's 4.
I believe it was nerfed to 4. To the wiki.
You're right.
That's a lot of damage loss, though.
Well, yeah, it's 0.10 total attack damage with each auto attack that you're doing. So it's a straight damage nerf. The passive frost shot as well is actually getting a buff though to make it so it's easy. It's like a buff nerf because it's making it so she can stick to people earlier, but later she doesn't completely perma-slow you. They are increasing the base slow by 5% to 10%, but the maximum slow is now 20% rather than 25%. And the slow on the critical hit was double. It is now triple the base slow. So they're trying to incentivize more building critical strike on her to get...
But...
Yes, right. Critical slow decay to a normal value over the first half of the slow duration rather than the full slow duration. So you get an initial slow burst and then it goes back to what it was.
Which is confusing more than anything else.
It's a really weird interaction for her that, again,
yeah,
even the majority of the 2% of players probably won't notice that you get a initial slow burst.
I mean, actually, I think more people are going to notice the triple slow. Like, they're going to be people are going to be wondering, why the fuck am I moving so slow? What happened?
Why am I not moving?
That's the part I like about it, is that you actually take notice of the crits now. Like, before, I totally forgot that her crit doubled the slow. Yeah, it wasn't very meaningful. Certainly you're slower. You're 20% slower, 25% slower, but now it's going to be like, whoa, I slowed way down. And then you're going to speed back up again. So, like, balance-wise, it's really hard to tell if this is going to be better or worse, but at least thematically, you'll be able to notice.
Overall, I like it better because she is slowing for more earlier. Yeah, you lose a lot late, but later they're making up for it with the triple the base slow later because they assume by level 18 you should be critting just about every other attack or every attack. So
and it really did feel like that slow was pretty bad at the start.
Oh yeah, 5%. It didn't really do. Yeah,
I mean, you don't never notice that.
Overall,
1.5 movement speed or something.
Overall, I don't think this really changes too much about her. It knocks her down a small bit of a peg, right? But I think with the balance changes of the right, but I'm thinking more like they're trying to say, hey, crit is really good on her, build it more, and you're already building Essence Reaver and Hurricane, and then going into it, like, hey, crit, you should maybe get some crit on her because it helps her do some more damage and it helps her get some more slows. But it doesn't force you to go into Infinity Edge.
This might be more appropriate for a later conversation, and feel free to cut me off if that's the case. But does she end up being this quiet benefactor of the 80 itemization tuning that's going to happen due to the assassin rework? Considering there are so many champions who really are prioritizing the armor pen, and Ashe isn't one of those.
As in, will she benefit because other 80 carries will lose out?
She's already sitting really high. Yeah, she's already got a build that focuses on crit, and her Caitlyn and Jinx are kind of the top ones on that, and all the other strong ADs are still building a ton of flat armor pen, but all the rumors suggest that they are trying to reduce the availability of flat armor pen to either overall or certainly to champions that are not assassin oriented.
It's on their list of things to rework in the preseason.
Yeah,
armor penetration is, or at least the
flat armor penetration.
Right. The clarification of what flat armor penetration is supposed to accomplish.
Oh, we can go into more of it later.
Yeah, it's a thought I had, like, just because she's already sitting high. She's a popular pick for good reason, and I mean, it might just be she gets knocked down a peg, and then all of a sudden, in 2 months, she's queen.
I could see it. I'm not. These kind of changes remind me of something that like you said, they're prepping for preseason changes. Like, we know the end of the season's coming. You got a month left to play her, and her win rate is still relatively high. But when solo queue is dominated by everything else, I mean, like, Twitch has still got a really high win rate, and we haven't seen him picked in competitive play, right? Who knows?
Well, I mean, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, for the solo play and everything, she might just still be the queen again, or become the queen right after being dethroned, just by virtue of all those other item changes. But yeah, that's looking too far ahead.
That's the only thing I hate about these end of season patches, is that we are locked in with 6.18 for Worlds, so we know what the Worlds meta is going to be, or how it's shaping out to be, right? And
the Worlds meta shapes the solo queue meta.
Yeah.
Even though it's
the echoes of it,
of
it shape the solo queue meta, which is
Kennen, for example, his play rate skyrocketed; it doubled
after Smeb dominated.
No, I mean, just even after the start of start of Worlds, but yeah, definitely after Smeb's.
He's been good all season. Welcome to Kennen.
He has been. Yeah, we were talking Kennen last season when they made the ultimate change, right? When it like automatically stunned people, and he just never really had a chance to super shine when it came to competitive play. But he's always been good in solo queue.
Well, it's just like we haven't seen any Olaf at all, and he's popping off right now as well. So
yeah, I think too many players stick with what the. I mean, this is a stupid conversation. Something that everybody goes, they're like, "Oh yeah, okay, Ponophobia, say whatever we're all thinking, or we all already know." But like the World's pro play shapes too much of the meta, and if you guys are looking for something out there, look at those like champions that have decent win rates, and you look at them. Like, why is Kennen so good? Well, he's got really good harass at level 1s to like level 1 to 6. He's got awesome harass, and etc. We can go on from there, but
Nunu is the second winningest jungler in Flat Plus.
What?
I didn't see that coming.
Huh? Yeah, that is odd.
Well,
for Flat Plus.
Let's talk about Cho'Gath. They're fixing W, essentially, Feral Scream. They're modernizing it, and it's
okay. They're fixing something that has been in the game since I started playing, and that's
oh my god,
yes,
very long time.
It's the most infuriating. It was the most infuriating thing to run into because it was like, I dodged that. What the fuck? I know I dodged.
You're silent before you scream.
Before we get too into this is what they're fixing. So if you're playing Cho'Gath, whatever the fuck you want to call him, if you're playing the giant monster guy, and you use your W, and they're within the cone of your W, and they exit the cone of your W before your animation ends, if they flash out of the cone of your W before the animation ends, and the damage hasn't gone off, you'll take the damage and you'll get silenced. It will still hit you even if you exit the cone. So, like, if they were just on the very, very edge of it, you could... God, when I was playing Cho'Gath, I used to play Cho'Gath all the time, and you could really, like, bait people into just coming on the edge of that, popping it the moment that they would go to last hit, and they would think that they were safe, and they'd immediately back up thinking they weren't going to get hit by it, and you would still hit them with it. And then you can do whatever you want for however long, because that silence is oppressive as shit. So all of the changes that they're making to his W are to make it so he can use it more, because he's probably not going to get off the same sort of reliable damage with it. So they're giving you more opportunities to do it.
To make it less infuriating
for people, yeah.
I mean, not even infuriating, just so you understand what's going on without.
It was like a
being
half second
main.
Well, it was like a half second delay.
What season was it? Was season 3, I think, maybe early season 4, where they changed how the W Feral Scream and Annie W, the interaction worked, because it used to be detached from your character and you could get additional range with it. And Feral Scream did the same thing, and then they anchored it to his mouth, right? And that, I wonder if that was a remnant of them attaching the cone to his mouth, because it got the extra range on it. I mean, it's probably not. It's probably just a bug with the way the ability works.
I mean, it was coded to
it's snapshotted
deal the damage like the moment you press W, even though the animation went on so much longer.
So it's snapshotted so that anything that's in the cone on the initial cast is what's going to get hit by it, regardless if they're within it before the damage. Like, if they exit it before the damage goes off, it's still going to hit them.
Right.
Even though the animation, it goes through the animation and everything, and you think, oh, I totally wasn't in that, I'm good. Mm-hmm. No, you were in it, probably.
Well, to speak to that, they actually increased the range of this as well. It was 585, it's now 650 total. And the cooldown, if you didn't know...
Which is what it always felt like, probably.
Right. Mm-hmm.
The cooldown now goes down with every rank you put into it. It was a flat 13, it is now 13 to 9 seconds, meaning Feral Scream will be on a shorter cooldown.
You'll have it up more.
Put more points into it, and
you think about this though, and with some CDR, because you're usually building a lot of CDR on him, going from 13 seconds to 9 seconds at max rank with max CDR is going. I mean, you're going to be popping W every 5 seconds.
Yeah, you had a 6-second scream, right?
Yeah, and I mean that's already silencing. So effectively in fights, there's only about 4 seconds that somebody's not going to be silenced if you're using it all the time.
Well, they have changed the silence duration because the cooldown is going down. The silence duration has been lessened. It's still the same at rank 1 at 1.5, but instead of going up to 2.5 seconds, now it goes up to 2. So they're shaving off a half a second on your max W.
It's his max ability, so
yeah,
like his first max. So that's actually like going to affect laning.
Again, it's going to affect him, but like
no, I mean like that, like playing against him, you're going to notice that a lot earlier. You're
most definitely.
You don't have the same windows that you thought you would have against him. Like, probably just assume W is available if you're going up against Cho'Gath now.
I always assume Cho'Gath's a really good pick if you're like gold and below. If you're looking for a top laner,
he's so safe
to carry you through something. I think Cho'Gath's the better pick than Nasus because a lot of people want to be that big, crazy, scary guy that levels up over the game. But I think Cho'Gath pretty much does the same thing in those elos.
He deals true damage, and the ability scales off of ability power. So it's scaling true damage. There's
not much.
Taliyah played him into Riven.
There's nothing stronger than that.
Taliyah played him into Riven on Monday night. It seemed to go pretty well, which is, more than I can say for all the other Rivens I've played against and failed. So maybe I should try Cho'Gath. Who knows?
You do play against a lot of Rivens, and it's
not just me.
It's not just me.
The Alawi legend from Vantage, heard is Leah. She said she was also playing against a lot of Rivens. So it's Riven flavor of the month.
I've been playing almost nothing but top lane and solo queue, and I see Riven all the time. So I don't know why everybody's.
I imagine that'll change
part of it's
soon because of Worlds. Yeah, but champion skip skin definitely.
Let's talk about Jinx. Flame Chompers, they're changing her E. The base damage is going down from 80 to 300 to 70 to 270. The cost has been increased to 70 mana at all ranks, and now enemies can only be damaged by one Flame Chomper.
Oh, that's long needed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it hits an early game more than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, level 2, it was Q into E if you had an aggressive support, and you would just drop it and get a little bit of extra damage, and you get the stun. Especially if you turned it like sideways and they had to run through it.
Interesting note in their notes for Jinx is that they talk about how even though these are like straight up E nerfs, they're actually hoping this affects her usage of fish bones more because they're increasing the mana cost here. They're hoping that means less Q or rocket spam in the laning phase.
That's why I say it hits her laning hard just because she can't aggressively throw chompers like a lot of Jinxes do and still get the rockets off the way she does. So
if she's not responsible with when she's using fish bones, then she'll just run out of mana, have a bad time. And then you can't follow up with W or E, and then you have to like save Q purely for clearing waves.
It's all right.
That's a bad spot to be in.
All this is just an adjustment for players playing Jinx. Yeah. It's not a hard nerf by any means. Nunu has actually had some really interesting changes in this patch. If he's kind of becoming a new champion, not really. I mean, he's just getting some different mechanics.
They're changing
just
some
a
stuff
new
up.
Fucking mini game.
Yeah, another one, and it's stupid. Basic attack damage has been increased to 59. Attack damage, gross stat has increased to 4, so he does more with his auto attacks. So his passive Visionary, Nunu now begins the game with Visionary and refreshes the buff upon recalling or respawning.
That I really like. That's nice. It's certainly going to help his early jungle. Just if nothing else, your first spell doesn't cost you mana. That's, nothing to complain about there. But I really hope that ends up being one where it resets as long as you're basically in the fountain, so that you don't end up wasting Visionary casting Blood Boil on somebody. as you're both running out of the fountain, like basically casting Blood Boil, and then it resets and you have it when you get back into the jungle or lane or whatever. I know that won't end up being a huge difference maker, one way or the other, but that's just a little thing I'm really hoping for.
So next is Consume. That has been changed a little bit. Nunu no longer receives unique benefits from casting Consume on certain neutral monsters, so they removed that mini game, right? If you remember, like he was gaining extra life or move speed or etc., and he was
now I remember
getting some benefit that was arbitrary to whatever monster you were fighting against.
The cooldown has been decreased to 12 seconds at rank 1 all the way down to 8 seconds, so that's just shaving a second off of each rank of it. The new passive that this has is called Feed the Yeti. Every large monster consumed feeds Willump, granting him a stack of Well-Fed. Each stack of Well-Fed grants Nunu 10 movement speed out of combat, 3% maximum health and size, stacking up to 5 times, and stacks refresh in each cast of Consume, falling off every 50 to 70 seconds. So every time you put ranks into Consume, it falls off.
So it's no longer pick and choose which large monster you're going for.
Yeah, you just get all of them.
Eat everything because you get, more or less all of the
stuff. It's
large monsters, yeah.
It's eat everything, and then it's like, hey, now you have a 70-second window to just go be an asshole.
It would be great. Unfortunately, I think Nunu's kit is heavily outdated compared to how the jungle and the junglers have evolved. Like, he's supposed to be this really oppressive, counter-jungling, ganking monster, and he can't do that. I know they're increasing his basic attack damage to try to make him clear a little more quickly, but without a overhaul of like how Blood Boil works and whatnot, he's never going to come back to prominence.
He's another one of those problem champions who, when things are going really, really well for him, the other team is having so little fun that like
ban him.
Well, see, you say that, but then it's like, well, we'd rather ban other stuff, and then somebody doesn't do it, and somebody throws a fit because of it. But like, Nunu's always been sort of that jungler where if you knew what you were jungling way better than the other person knew what they were jungling, you just went in and ruined their life for the rest of the game.
The Odd One's joke about Nunu was always that your goal when playing him is to make the enemy jungler as useless as you are.
Yeah.
And the problem is that the jungle has evolved to such a point where the things Nunu has always done well are done as well or better by a lot of other champions. Not just not just a handful, like a lot. Almost every champion, or at least every meta pick, does what Nunu does as well or better than he does.
It's any top tier jungle pick does what Nunu does, but can also kill people way easier.
Yeah, it does what Nunu does. But then, like, if they catch Nunu or they get caught by Nunu, like, they're still just going to kill Nunu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Consume becomes worthless outside of counter jungling. Like, until you give Consume some kind of battle friendly use.
But Adam, you can use it to guarantee that you get the jungle camps and the dragons.
That's all great.
But if you get caught, it's still useless to you.
I'm not a game designer. I just look at the patch notes and go, all right, well, this is what's going to change in the game. But like, the first thing that comes to my mind is to make, with the way his kit is now, because W doesn't have a battle ready. All it does is increase your attack speed, increase your movement speed, which is great. E, you can spam it now to keep them slowed. You're not doing a ton of damage anymore, and Q has no use. So when you go to gank, all you're providing with your laner is not tons. It's just
a slow and attack speed.
Utility.
Yeah.
Unlike Elise, who comes in and she stuns you, jumps on you, can get in and out of combat.
Shreds you, can escape.
Right.
Yeah.
And Nunu, you're in. I mean, Absolute Zero, they're changing it, right? It was a 50% slow. It's now 50 to 95% over the channel duration. Which is pretty sweet.
And it doesn't have a cast time anymore.
Cast time.
Like you press R and it goes. It's no longer like you press R and then you thought it was going, but no, now it's actually going. And that's a really nice change. That's really, really big and could lead to a lot of extra damage dealt by the ability, just because people could get to that mid-range pretty easily and then flash out or blink out or whatever, and now they're going to have a harder time getting there. But overall, this just feels like, hey, we are new players. We know that your champ's in a bad spot, and we're going to do a full gameplay and visual rework of him at some point. But here's something to tide you over in the interim. We'll give you a new mini game to play. That it's similar to the old one that you were doing, but we're calling it something else.
Do you
honestly the mini game stuff? I think just needs to be nixed, and they just need to rework his kit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they say, to give some context to this, they go, we still want Nunu to feel rewarding for feeding his Yeti, so we're altering the buffs to align them more towards what Nunu actually wants. Do you feel rewarded for eating jungle camps to gain attack, just to gain movement speed, or even to gain extra life?
I mean, it's not
in hell.
It's not a reward when it was something that you are already going to do.
And it's movement speed out of combat. It's not even like he can perma-slow people and everything, but a lot of times you really wanted to slow somebody and then try to like either get up in front and zone them or like basically just stay in front of them so that they couldn't, and then keep slowing them so your team can catch up and murder them. But out of combat, movement speed doesn't help you do that.
I would love it if his passive, instead of giving him free spells, was more of like Ice Hands or something. When he auto-attacks something, he slows them.
Oh, yeah, I really hate how so many of the Freljord champions got
silly like that.
by the mana. Oh, free spells or free mana or some shit like that.
But at the same time, he doesn't need... I would agree with that, other than he doesn't need any more slows in his kit.
It's not to add on top of...
Are you saying build Frozen Mallet?
Yes, I am. No, I'm not saying... I'm saying, like, if we did a rework of him, right? Like, Snowball's a cool ability, but they could have made Snowball... Snowball could actually be something like how Snowball works in an Aram. I mean, I'm just spitballing ideas at this point.
I mean, it could be like more of a legit skill shot sort of thing and maybe feel more meaningful than just the normal point-and-click stuff that we're seeing.
You throw a Snowball, and when you come to them, Nunu's impact stuns them for 0.25 seconds or something, right? Because the impact of this flying Yeti. And then you have cold hands to slow them as you're auto-attacking more quickly. Like, that'd be meaningful in a gank. It'd be meaningful in a team fight. And you could get yourself in to use Absolute Zero. But the fact that you can't get in there, or if someone just tags you, you lose your movement speed. It kind of sucks.
I mean, this is too much, but I wish Ice Blast, like, maybe make the cooldown longer, but make it so that it also slows attack speed. Not 60%, but
I'd be okay with that.
Actually, yeah, I mean, according to the wiki, it does.
Yeah,
it slows attack speed by 25%.
It does slow attack speed a bit, but it's just
Ice Blast. No,
it has a
Absolute
cripple
Zero
effect.
Does.
Both of them. Again, according to this wiki, because I was just looking up to see what part of the slow actually affected Absolute Zero.
Oh, okay.
And then I saw this crippling effect, which affects both of them, and that's for attack speed.
Yeah, I saw crippling them by 20%, 25%, and didn't hover over it to see what that was. Okay, well then he has what I wanted, and he still sucks.
It's not enough.
He needs Ice Hands, I'm telling you. All right, let's talk about Taliyah. We've talked about Nunu enough. Taliyah, the per base health regen has been increased. Taliyah's recommended items have been updated. Her threaded volley cooldown has been decreased to from 10 to 4 to 9 to 3, and work ground duration has been decreased to 120 seconds. I still think she's pretty much in the dumpster now that threaded volley.
That was going to be literally like, what do you think, Adam? You've been wanting exactly what they did there. Did they go far enough or no?
Nah, they put her. She's still in the dumpster when it doesn't do extra damage to minions because of the threaded because of the work ground. Because at a point you're only throwing.
You can use it 1 second faster.
I mean, that's great. These are buffs in the right direction, but they're not going to push her over the what is she at right now? 47, maybe 45% win rate. I don't have champion GG.
You know what's gonna be the biggest buff for that? Recommended items.
Yes.
Those true buffs. She's at 43.74.
Okay, so she was lower than I expect. This maybe it bumps
just
up to
above
45.
Azir.
Yeah, just above Azir.
Yeah, this isn't going to bring her anywhere. Fuck you. This is a worthless change. I'm sorry if you're listening, Skarazhard. Please, more. Vladimir.
Please more.
Vladimir is having a change in this patch as well. So if you've been banning Vlad or you've been scared of him, you might still be a little scared of him, or a little less. We'll find out.
I haven't seen any Vlad since his last nerf.
I've been seeing him banned by just random
Cancer.
people.
Okay.
Q transfusion heal ratio was 0.15 ability power, is now 0.35 ability power. Crimson Rush healing bonus is now 35% effective versus minions.
Okay, so they just made they made transfusions heal base better, and then they made it so that you get a better benefit if you use it on people, which was kind of what they wanted it to be in the first place.
So he just can't sustain as easily.
He can't sustain as easily if he's not using Q to like poke and sustain off someone else.
They're also trying to bump you away from building Spirit Visage first item and still do tons of damage.
The classic SV first item.
Right. Tides of Blood maximum ratio was 0.8. what is this? 0.8 plus 0.7 to 0.8 maximum health and 0.7 ability power. They're changing that to be 0.6 maximum health and 1.0 ability power. Again, pushing you away from building health early.
Yeah,
with
they don't want you to get SP
that
early.
says, hey, you shouldn't rush Spirit Visage.
This just says this. Yeah, this is just saying, hey, we really, really want you to get a Rylai's immediately.
That was bullshit.
Or
Go get something
Protobell?
else.
Rylai's or Protobell.
You could get Protobell too.
Missile width has been increased to 60, and missiles spawned has been decreased to 50. Or 15, sorry.
15. I was about to say 50 would be
Maybe
incredible.
dodge it.
Holy.
That's a lot
Which
of
I think
blood
actually
bulk.
works out to be about the same with the missile
I think
width
so.
increasing.
It's just like, I mean, if there's less missiles, it just means the bigger particles are going to break once they hit something. So I don't know exactly. I'd have to see the interaction.
There's two things
also
that say no to each
at
other.
the outer edge, you should be able to, like, you have a little bit of opportunity to dodge.
Yeah.
I was going to say maybe if two things are standing next to each other, only one of them gets hit because they block the shot from the other person.
Well, I mean, it was already one of those things where you had to position pretty intelligently if you wanted to hit like a whole wave with it. Because if you just stood on one side of it, you weren't going to hit half the wave.
Yeah. So they're just trying to push you more toward building AP with him, and trying to remove some of that early sustain that he gets from Spirit Visage, or the early power he gets from Spirit Visage.
Good. I'd like to see. I kind of miss the old school like hunting guys early by Vlad. So maybe we see a little bit of it.
Wish that item built into better items. That item's so
I know.
good.
You
right.
can sit on it
If it
forever.
did,
It's
that
really
might be too
frustrating
good.
because Serrated Dirt builds into like 3 things, and Haunting Guys just gets 1 item.
Yeah. And Haunting Guys is so
Yeah.
good for like so many champions would build a Haunting Guys if it had better build paths. Because it's so good early.
It's
like the old
It has
Brutalizer.
always been. Yeah, no, it's that like. What is it?
But I mean, I guess the
pocket
other
knife.
side
The
is,
really great pocket knife.
do we really want that item to be the terrifying first buy for so many, like almost for any mid laner?
Sure.
But certainly
I
all the
mean,
assassins.
You wouldn't necessarily see it built on mid laners. You'd see it built more on like bruisers and whatnot. Still, like you could basically put it on anything that sort of gave AP and health.
Rumble wants it.
Maybe a little bit of pen there, but
He's wanted it since season 3.
I mean, maybe they just start tacking that on as a first piece to anything with AP health on it. That way, like, you can keep it out of the hands of those mid laners. Because right now, who are you seeing it built on other than Rumble? Maybe Vlad
And
if you're
Rumble's not
drunk
even-
and you're feeling brave.
And Rumble's not even buying anymore because Proto Belt exists.
Right. Well, that's that. Well, you could make it like an early piece of Proto Belt.
You just have to remove the spell.
No,
pen.
oh my god, that item would be broken if.
Yeah, you would have
that
to
item
remove the
would be
spell
beyond
pen or
broken
make it
if
like
you
really
added-
low.
If
You don't have to add anything onto it. You can take away as you give, sir. It's called balance.
That item would be beyond broken if you.
I want it so bad.
We all do. Yorick has had some changes this patch, but nothing super significant. They're just kind of fixing some bug fixes with him, right? We had talked about we think that Yorick may see some nerfs later. I still think they potentially are to come, but Riot is probably going to sit on him for a few patches before we see anything significant because that healing is pretty ridiculous.
I don't know. Anecdotally, I have yet to run into a Yorick that.
It seems like his kit is very powerful, but I mean,
remotely.
We played
that
in
one-
the game, and he took the dragon at like level 3. He went and took the goddamn Rift Herald at 6.
Right, no, he was on our team, and that was great. I'm saying I have yet to run into one that actually, did anything.
Sean's just
Were you not in the
flabbergasted.
game with me when we were?
No, he
was
wasn't.
Adam Wrecker. Okay,
I wasn't in that one.
I
with
was
you.
going from person to person, one-shotting them with Q, and we were losing the game until just crazy late game team fights happened, and I killed anyone I felt like.
Yeah, but how many games actually get to that critical mass point for Yorick?
It was like a 38-minute.
And you also ran Miramana, which nobody is doing on him.
Miramana
well, for every Chira, there's the jungle Yorick that Dom and I get in our games who does jack and shit the entire time.
At least
And then we're like, man, this champion. Why did he pick this champion?
Just wait for some of those. Wait till I get on a Smurf and I get in the game with the jungle attack speed Braum. You'd be like, in all chat, Adam, is that you?
No, please. No.
We won that game because of jungle attack speed Braum. Chira.
You were supposed to play ADC Graves Monday. We forgot about that.
Yeah, I was.
You picked Jin.
Yeah, you did.
Wow. Yeah, what's wrong with you?
I was gonna play Graves. Damn
The
it.
meme value was right there for you.
I'm still really upset about that one axe that I missed in mid lane where Taliyah got that double. That will forever haunt me. Like that one axe landing would have completely changed.
You guys
my
might have won
entire
5
life.
minutes sooner if you hit that X.
I know, man.
Oh, man. All right, let's talk about Kog'Maw. If you don't recall, if you haven't seen Kog'Maw, they reverted his W changes from a while ago. They made Bio Arcana Rage's attack animation cool again, and they updated some skin particles. As well as Shyvana, Twin Bite's animation has been visually sped up.
Okay, it was a little bit slow.
Yeah, it was.
For auto attack reset, yeah.
Well, when her auto attacks hit faster than an instant ability, that's
Not as bad as Sejuani.
true.
Oh, I know that one feels like forever.
Reset.
Yeah, they may as well start running like halfway down the lane before it lands.
So Baron Nashor, if you didn't know that if you walked really, really close to Baron Nashor, he would knock you back. You would basically get a 1 second knockback. They've reduced that to 0.33 because they realized that some champions have to get really close to Baron Nashor, and you can accidentally get too close, and then you're losing damage on Baron Nashor when you get there. So they're just trying to fix some of that. And plus, PSA, you don't have to stand in Baron Nashor to do damage. Your auto attack range on most melee champions is like 100, right? 125, something
125,
like that.
yeah.
It's like you have some range, even though you're melee, so you can kind of.
I love the melee who tried to get in really, really close and they're low health, and you're like, please God, no, back out. You have range. I really want to tank this for you. Why are you fucking yourself? I'm very upset. We're gonna die. Everybody's fucked. And then you end up like having the fight flipped because they don't know how to back off and let you take aggro.
I hear like running upstairs. I'm scared and
Yeah,
confused.
doesn't he only
Children.
he only summons those spikes from the ground behind him and kind of a little bit to the sides, right? There are so many people who don't know that, and they try to like damage him from behind, which sucks, I guess, for Shaco. Does his backstab passive even apply to that? Or apply to Baron?
I don't think so.
But otherwise, like you don't need to. Like, don't stand behind him. There's no good reason to do it.
Okay, so they are changing basic attack lock-in. We had talked about learning how to do auto attack resets and learning how to animation cancel, and they're making it easier to animation cancel for some players, essentially.
Depending on ping.
Yeah, depending on ping. They want to make it so everybody can animation cancel. They realize it's something that separates good from the bad players, right? So any movement orders that are issued 0.03 seconds before a basic attack fires will no longer cancel it, meaning you get a tiny little smidgen more of a window to reset your auto attack or to get your auto attack off without canceling it. And the majority of players, any player that's already doing this, will probably never even see this happening. This is for those people that it might have bad ping or whatever it may be.
I'm just afraid that I'm going to get used to this, and then I'm going to start canceling even earlier, and then continue to cancel my auto attacks unintentionally. And then
I almost think this just helps people who were trying to do it and weren't doing it well, and they were actually canceling the incoming auto with their movement command instead.
I think that happened to a lot of people that are just used to auto canceling in general. It's just that every so often you just cancel too early and like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Auto attack going to go off.
I don't know.
But I mean, in order to... Is this going to be a case where in order to properly time auto attack canceling, now you're going to have to get used to this new timing?
No, 0.03 seconds. No one's got.
I guess it's just a delay in the command, yeah. So it doesn't matter so long as you
won't.
So long as you issue, unless you issue it within 0.03 seconds, which isn't very easy to do.
Yeah.
You won't. Yeah, you won't notice it.
You do it on accident more than anything else. You're certainly not doing it. Most people, the overwhelming majority of people, are not going to be doing that.
We aren't doing that.
With any intent.
Yes.
So
maybe pray.
Maybe.
There are a bunch of bug fixes in this patch as well. Nothing that are more than just bugs or things that you didn't really know that were happening. I mean, the few ones that you maybe care about because you're a awesome, crazy player that loves to break the meta is that the basic attack component of Hecarim's devastating charge can now critically strike.
Oh boy.
What?
I think the other one fixed a number of bugs where various short-range dash abilities like Riven's Valor and Hextech Protobelt, and then knockback effects like Janus Monsoon can't move champions across player-created terrain anymore. And mostly this affects Jarvan. They specifically say this is technically a Jarvan buff because there were a lot of abilities that could...
So if an enemy is in Jarvan's Cataclysm and Janna Monsoons, you can no longer push them out of Cataclysm with the Monsoon.
Okay.
Oof.
So you can no longer push an enemy out of it.
Presumably you couldn't...
Well, if Jarvan... all right, so...
inside Jarvan's Cataclysm, irrespective of...
What team you're on.
What team Jarvan's on.
Okay. I was about to say, like, if
I
one interaction to the other, that could be real weird.
So there was another thing that was in this patch and got removed that they was like, oops. And if you noticed it before, the games drafted and new champion select were automatically rearranging the scoreboard. They removed that, if you guys didn't notice, and they're pushing it back to patch 6.21.
Okay.
We've all wanted for forever. We're all really excited for that.
Fuck all of that. Clud can now issue pings during charge. Oh my god, thank you, Riot. Oh yes.
Where was the Kled on Monday? I was expecting it.
It's actually pretty funny because
it wasn't
I keep hearing Punch talk about Kled all the time, and I still have yet to be in a game where I've seen him play it.
You missed out. There was a window of time where I played a lot of Kled, and then people learned how to play against him, and now I'm just really sad.
It's not happening anymore.
But that was so annoying because I'm used to pinging like crazy. I'm teleporting in, or in this case, charging in, and I just can't do it. I'm like, I hope these pubs notice. I mean, the music's going off, so...
They're not going to notice your pings either. You know, if they're not noticing the
charge
and they're not noticing the music, they're not going to notice the pings.
Oh, hey, by the way, those project crafting materials that you have, you can disenchant those for Orange Essence now, because they're going to expire on November 6th.
Sweet.
And then you'll get nothing, so...
Hey, by the way, I shouldn't ask you guys on the podcast. I'll ask you guys off the podcast because Riot. No, I'm not asking for favors from any of my friends. I am just specifically saying that it's not going to happen.
All right.
Okay.
Anyone else good and confused?
Yeah, I have no fucking idea what you meant by that.
Right,
Thank you, Adam, for
You're welcome.
for that beautiful.
Well, when you send a podcast out to 20,000 people, you never know who's listening to it. I love you all. Actually, we have 9 minutes left, technically, before the hour's up. We were going to talk preseason stuff, but that's probably a solid 20-minute conversation. Do we just want to call it for the night and let you guys talk preseason and Ivern next week? The silence is deafening.
Are we going to...
This is a preview of next week, where we just sit here and stare at each other.
Yeah. You guys are going to really want to tune into the live.
Yeah, we'll show up and just not say a fucking word and just... slide it on out.
We had a preview of next week's show.
Pre-show.
Because Adam was AFK for a second, and we were just like,
what do we do? What do we do without Adam?
Absolutely.
You know what?
Audio, boys.
If you guys want to go follow me at TFPwn, PWN on Twitter, I will be posting pictures at every port I go to and be like, and it'll just be me with my little finger out pointing at wherever I'm at.
That sounds entertaining. I think I'll do that. I think I'll follow you right now.
Oh, you're not following me.
Yeah, phone.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you for following me. I tweet hardly anything ever, but it's great. I'm gonna go sit on the beach and sip some alcoholic drinks and enjoy some time with some wild animals and be completely and totally away from Hurricane Matthew.
Good, glad to hear that.
Where'd that end up hitting, by the way?
That is going to hit Florida tomorrow, Thursday.
What side? Where
Eastern.
at?
Eastern.
And Benson's actually worried about this one. He tweeted something to the effect of, normally these hurricane warnings, I don't give a fuck, but this one is actually worrying.
See, yeah. I'm sitting here, I'm like, maybe I should be worried about my dad, but the last hurricane that hit, he was like in a grocery store and he called me. He's like, yeah, there's a hurricane outside. I think I'm going to go wait out this part of the storm in the car. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
No,
you're a crazy
If
person.
you are in Florida, by the way, they've already started issuing evacuations. Like, they told everybody you need to be fucking out of your houses right now because it's going to be a big one. I think the only thing that I'm going to hit is maybe I land in Charlotte, North Carolina on Saturday. So I'll probably just hit some like storms, right? Some residual storms from the hurricane.
I hope it just redirects and goes right into Charlotte. And then you're stuck at the airport, and I'm just like,
I don't hope that.
Happy vacation.
You've earned a vacation. You deserve it.
Yes. I paid for it, goddammit. I'm going on it.
We know who
I
your
have to
true
fucking
friends are.
All right. Well, we'll end it there. We're ending a little bit early, I know, but somehow we turned this tiny little patch into a giant conversation about Nunu and Ashe.
We never do that.
And somehow we make it through even bigger patches more quickly. I don't get it, but that's what happens. We got to fill time. By the way, if you guys enjoyed Chira's new audio, he sounds delicious.
I sound
Sexy.
fucking tasty over here.
You may not know.
Thanks, Adam. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, funny story about that, just because I want to end the podcast with this. Last week, I was listening to Sean on the podcast, and in the middle of the podcast, I bought him a new microphone, and it turns out that it was his headset that was bothering me, because that's what was broadcasting through Skype.
Yeah, my headset is started to take a poop, but it's better. It's better than I don't even want to hold up this microphone, Adam.
Explain
better
it to
than
people
this
listening.
All right, so when I initially joined the show back in the day, I was like, oh, cool, Adam's sending me a microphone. He's like, oh, yeah, this is great. Hornet should send it in the mail. Expect it any time. When I got it in the mail, I got it like this, with a piece of it broken off and a giant dent on the top.
So for those of you that are listening to the podcast, it had a
Hornet
it
with
has a
that
clip.
microphone.
No. Listening to the podcast, everyone needs to hear. There's the microphone is a Samsung C10U or C01U. I can't remember how it goes. There's a clip that goes over the top of it that was broken off, and somehow there's a dent in the metal part of the microphone into the gate that you talk into. So yeah, that microphone was
I don't know what
beat
Hornet
up.
was doing, but I'm almost positive he was trying to hammer nails with this fucking microphone.
But thanks to everybody's support on Patreon, patreon.com/T-Force Network, we have been able to start upgrading equipment, and I'm going to slowly be upgrading everybody else's equipment on the podcast as well as we move on, because I'd like to get everybody onto these amazing Audio-Technica microphones and off the Samsungs, because that's what your money is going for, so you all sound better, right?
I will say this is the best microphone I have ever had. It's beautiful.
It is a very nice microphone.
I'm still on the blue snowball I bought myself 4 years ago or something.
We are. I will tell you all, we are solely. We have because of Patreon. We have money in the bank. I'm going to start upgrading everybody's audio throughout the network. That's what this money goes for. So you guys can hear us better, and we can always bring you better content. Like no money in our pockets, etc. It's just going because we like you guys so much that we want to keep giving back to you. And the way it is, you'll be able to hear me more often in your ears. So. That's it, guys. Hopefully, these guys will do 2 episodes next week. I'm only holding them to 1, but if they feel up to it, they can do 2. That is it. That's episode number 390 of the Trinity Force podcast. 10 episodes to go until the episode number 400 extravaganza. I hope everybody's here.
We still don't know anything.
Yeah, you're not going to.
Last week,
you're not going to.
We still don't know. I'm
gonna
get like really, really anxious about this. That's what's going to happen.
All I want you guys to do.
Start worried there's a person with a hook coming to my house to murder me on the show.
Episode 400 is a trivia night. That's all I'm going to tell you. And you don't know what type of trivia we're going to talk about.
That is much less exciting than murder.
Oh, no.
You sound disappointed.
This is going to be awesome.
Well, because after what my imagination built to.
You want to know why this trivia is going to be better? Because it's not going to be easy for you guys to look up the answer. There's not going to be time for you guys to look up the answer either. Because everyone's going to shout.
Oh, so this is going to be great. There's just going to be a bunch of dead air while we're sitting here trying to think of something and be like, we don't know.
Oh, no, we're going to talk about it.
Thanks, Adam.
Drunk.
We're going to be
you know what? That I do have half a bottle of tequila. We could get fun.
And guys, if you ever wanted this is how you fill time 101. Episode 390 of the Trinity Force podcast. Thank you guys for listening. We will see you all next week.
See you guys.
Bye.